Hey everyone, it's Cohen. So my 6 months on T was on Christmas, and I had a pretty busy Christmas, as I'm sure everybody else did. So I'm gonna do my video with my 6 months on T update, which obviously, since I haven't done any earlier videos, it's just gonna be me letting everybody know pretty much what I've experienced in the last 6 months. The first changes that I noticed, which was probably within the first month or two of being on T, was my voice change. I went to the doctors and I pretty much had to find my own doctor by myself, but I ended up going to see Dr. Massarella. Like I said in my last video, my first appointment was pretty much just us talking, nothing about me proving my transness whatsoever. So that was really good. And by the end of that appointment, I was able to make another appointment, which when I came in, I was given my prescription, I went and filled it, and I came back the same day and got to do my first shot. So that was really awesome. So my voice started lowering pretty quickly. My voice is pretty different. I have my recordings on my phone, which I'm using right now. And in the future, I'm going to probably around my 1 year mark do a comparison because I've been doing a recording for every month that I've been on T. I grew out my leg hair pre-T, and I had a good amount. Pretty much, I got a little bit extra, but what I noticed was it was thicker and darker because I already had a good amount of hair. Um, I'm going to talk about Shark Week. For those of you who don't know, it's your rag. I can't say it any other way. I don't like the terms. I don't like any of it at all. So I call it Shark Week. What happened was the week before I went on T was when I had my Shark Week. Then for the week that I had just been on T, I still had it. And the week after, I still had it. So for me, I had it for 3 weeks in a row. And now 6 months on T, I've never had it again, haven't had any problems. So that's awesome. I will take the 3 weeks over whatever. Like if I had it for up to 4 months, some guys are on 6 months and they still get it. So I'm fine with what happened. It's completely fine with me. My sex drive went up a little bit. Not a lot. Some guys just say that it's unbearable. There are times where you're just like, oh my god, this fucking sucks. I'm so friggin' horny, but like nothing crazy. It didn't go up much from what it had been before. Some people say that they're more comfortable with their sexuality, so therefore they identify as bisexual. Before I came out as trans, I was a lesbian identifying person, and once coming out as trans, I identify as straight. So I am a male and I date females, and I have not discovered any attraction whatsoever towards the male gender or anyone who is more masculine identified. I'm straight. That's just how the dice rolls, and that's cool. My first 2 months of passing was okay. 50% of the time I passed, 50% of the time I did not. Um, I'm going to talk about my changes throughout now, so other ones that have come, because within the first month, like, your voice will change a little bit. You might get a little more hair, but the first 2 months, you notice it because you're really looking for it. So you are finding these changes, but they don't get as drastic until you've been on T for a little bit longer. So to go with my leg hair, I also have some thicker arm hair. Nothing really like back or shoulders. I don't have any of that. I do have some chest hair as well as stomach hair and the treasure trail, which is pretty cool. My face hair came in pretty quickly. You can't see it on this camera because it's flipped around the other way and the lighting is terrible. But I'm blonde and I actually have about almost an inch of facial hair that goes along the sideburns all the way to the other side and underneath here especially. I've been shaving my cheeks and all along my face. I've just been keeping that. You can see I have a shadow of a mustache, which I had shaved that probably 5 days ago. So after 5 days, I have a very light mustache coming in. My hairline really hasn't receded much. The texture of my hair has changed. I've always had really thick hair, so I haven't really noticed it thinned out, but my hair is the texture of a cis man's hair. So that's pretty cool as well. Um, my voice dropped a lot from my third month till now. It just keeps getting lower, so that's pretty cool. My skin texture on my face has definitely changed. I still have soft skin, but obviously I have more masculine skin now, so the texture is different. My fiance pointed that out to me as well. Um, as the rest of my skin, like my body, I haven't really noticed anything change that way. It probably has, but not as much as the texture of the skin on my face. Um, Passing has been extremely well. Pretty much after 2 months, I didn't have anybody misgender me. The only time that that really happened was if I was asked for my ID, and the person who asked for my ID would start off by calling me sir, or him or he, and then when I would hand over my ID, which I haven't changed yet, um, they would kind of look a little bit off. And then some would correct themselves, and others would just not even pay attention because I don't think they noticed the F. It was just the ones that noticed the F on my ID that kind of looked at me and then were just like, oh, I'm sorry. And then they would give me whatever I was there to purchase, and I'd be on my way. Family and social has been awesome. Everybody's super supportive. Nobody's been negative. Obviously, it's hard for people to understand what trans people go through. So, without knowing a lot about trans people and with it being something that not everybody knows, it's kind of hard to get people to understand. So, the fact that my family is 100% supportive doesn't mean that they understand completely because they probably never will because they're not trans. But at the end of the day, I have to take what is said or what is what is conveyed to me in a conversation with family or friends. I have to actually sit back and think like they probably don't mean it in the way that it came out because at the same point there are specific words that we have, that we own, that we use, that cisgendered people don't use. So we have to understand that. And it's not easy to understand something that you don't go through. So at the end of the day, when my family supports me and isn't negative about anything and they have my back, if they mess up once or if they say something, I know it's not because of like, oh, they're just stupid or ignorant or they're assholes. It's not about that. It's about not everybody understands and not everybody will be able to, but people can be understanding. So that's really awesome that I do have a family that continues to try to understand and supports me, which I know not a lot of people have. So I'm really grateful for that. Work and such has always been something different because I'm in the culinary industry. I'm a chef. So, in that comparison, I've worked alongside a lot of males more so than I ever have females in this industry. And the pay is always different. I've always been one of the most qualified people pretty much everywhere that I've worked. And I do know that I have gotten paid less than a male who is less qualified than me. And I have been not given as many opportunities as some of the males that I've worked with. So, being trans right now is just, it's not much difference in the workplace. Like, people still act the same way. I've been pretty lucky to work somewhere that I've been for 5 years where people know me. So it's not a big deal to anybody, but you still know that at the end of the day, you're going to get treated differently, whether it's for your pay, whether it's for your position or something. And that's unfair, but I'm hoping that in the new year, I will be looking for a new job, maybe where somebody doesn't know I'm trans, and just to actually be able to identify as male in a job completely where somebody doesn't know me. And just to see if maybe um, I'll get a different reaction during an interview or in a workplace setting. So that's really interesting. My surgery is next Monday, so a week today, 6 days and counting. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to Dr. McLean for the double incision mastectomy with nipple grafts. I will be posting a video the morning of, and hopefully after my surgery. If not after, it will be like